Phase 5 started off with Antman. It should have been so much better, right? So Antman Quantumania is a solid D movie. And that has nothing to do with the actors or how they delivered. I thought the acting was great, but the story writing and the direction where they wanted to go was so bad. For one, don't let Ant-Man fight Kang. I'm perfectly fine with Kang being the big bad villain you introduce, but ultimately the person who they should have been kind of more fighting is MODOK. MODOK is more than enough for Ant-Man to fight. Kang should be in the background watching everything happen. Ant-Man and Ant-Man's family should foil Kang's plan to kind of not end his final goal, but deter him from his final goal. But before I get into that, let's talk about the main character and his drive. I'm very big on character arcs, and that's one of the reasons why I like, for one, anime so much, because anime cares a lot about how they develop their characters, and the MCU so much because they at least used to care about how they develop their characters. We know that Scott Lang cares about his daughter a lot and that he lost a lot of time with his daughter. Scott Lang wants to spend time with his daughter, but he is technically one of the only OG Avengers still there who kind of can take the helms that Tony Stark left. And he should be in over his head, because who else is kind of, everybody who was an OG Avenger is kind of either retired or was battling in between a larger role, i.e. Falcon, the Winter Soldier. Those guys didn't really know what role they wanted to be in. Captain America retired. Spider-Man, who is a teenager and in high school, cannot lead the Avengers. Hawkeye retired. X, Y, and Z. So really the only person there who's trying to keep it together, or who can keep it together, or who feels responsible enough to keep it together, is Scott Lang. And obviously Cassie wants to be near him too. So she's going to do things to where she wants to be a hero just like her dad, but her dad not wanting her to be hurt is going to kind of push her away from that direction, right? That should be the first, at most 20 minutes of the movie, setting that up. Then you develop a reason for them to kind of look into the quantum realm for whatever reason. Janet Van Dyne keeping that secret initially is fine. That should be a problem for the second act to deal with, right? So we got the Wasp, the two Wasps, the two Ant-Man, and Cassie Lang all going down into the quantum realm. Here's one of the biggest and drastic differences that should have happened, right? The splitting up of people should have been completely different. Scott Lang should have been paired with Hank Pym, because honestly, and this is one of the things that I dislike a lot from the Ant-Man films, Scott Lang should not be that stupid. He's an electrical engineer. He has his master's in electrical engineering. I have my master's in electrical engineering. I am not that stupid. I'm not Tony Stark, and he shouldn't be Tony Stark, but he should not be that dumb. He can't do anything. And that's a problem. And also, he has been with the Pyms for however long, and he has not learned anything. That's a huge issue. And that is, again, kind of fine right now, but that should kind of annoy Hank Pym to the point where he's just like, dude, you need to do better. I don't have anybody else to leave it to other than my daughter and you are the weak link. So that will be their discussion of Hank Pym trying to move Scott forward. Cassie and the Wasp should talk about something different, right? They should talk about why Janet Van Dyne is not moving forward. Why is she being so secretive? In the end, it's kind of damaging to the relationship that they're trying to build. The Wasp and Cassie should be caught by MODOK and Kang, brought in and trapped, right? And the only way they can get out is if Scott and Hank Pym, that should be the case, right? And they do it and all of their people are saved and stuff starts hitting the fan, because now we're in Act 3. So long story short, the beats that need to be hit in Act 3 is they need to be able to try to escape, and then the other people go and try to stop Kang from leaving, because that will mess up the universe. So the people who are trying to make sure that they're leaving is Wasp, Cassie, and MODOK, right? Okay, hear me out. MODOK, a big enough character, yet a small enough character where he should kind of still be in his own movie or outside and still alive, okay? Like, this man can be an issue, but not a huge issue. while the Ant-Man's go and handle Kane, right? So the Wasp, Cassie, and MODOK figure out a way to open up the portal, and essentially what goes on is MODOK kind of screws him over. So now the only people that leave is Janet Van Dyne and Cassie and MODOK, and he shuts the portal, trapping the Wasps down there. And on the other side, Hank Pym actually sacrifices himself to throw Kane off course, right? So Kane doesn't leave with his army that he was trying to leave to, and he also doesn't go where he was trying to go. Guess where he goes? The negative zone. Yes. Kane goes to the negative zone to then use his smarts and his technology and his bioengineering to then create Annihilus. And that's who he weaponized. He can give Annihilus his own Avenger movie. Kane should be the reason in the MCU why Annihilus happens. And that should give him more than enough reason to, hold off and let the big bad villain Kane develop, right? The storytelling aspect of the MCU is fine, right? Thanos' whole issue was trying to make sure that it was enough space in the universe, right? Kane's whole issue should be there is enough time for people to thrive, right? And the third huge villain that Marvel should have to deal with is somebody who only cares about eating. Galactus, yes. After Kane should be Galactus. And let Kane have as long as he needs to feel threatening, right? Like, come on now, right? And also for fans in general, they're saying like, oh my gosh, there's too much Kane. Again, that should be fine. Kane is a different type of beast than Thanos ever was. Thanos should be in the shadows. Kane can also be in your face. Why? Because time doesn't matter to him. It's not a finite resource for him. It's something that needs to be manipulated for him to do what he needs to do. So if he's in your face in every movie, and that should be fine. But he should be threatening in your face. That's my issue. Quantumania should end with Kane being trapped down there with the Wasp, Hank Pym sacrificing himself in order to save the universe, Janet Van Dyne, Cassie, and MODOK being up in the real world and needs to be working in order to try and save and pull their people, which is Ant-Man and the Wasp, out of the quantum realm, right? However long you need that to happen, whether it's 5 minutes in the real world and 10 years in the quantum world, Scott Lang needs to be able to be smart enough now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he needs to come back with a grizzled beard, some gray streaks in it, and somebody who's actually intelligent. Along with the Wasp, now there are a duo to be feared because now they're smart and strong, and they can actually lead the Avengers. That's how Quantumania should have been and should have ended. Again, Ant-Man should not fight Kane directly. MODOK should be the fightable villain. Scott and Cassie should want to be able to spend time together, but can't. The time for them to spend apart should be even longer. Give them the center to kind of understand what they really want out of life, right? Escape Kane to the negative zone. Do something to where Ant-Man is realistically smarter. He should be smarter. Come on now. Those are the things that would take that D of a movie and move it into at least a B+. But yeah, that's it.